Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle. Our digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. Affiliates across the country including Bishara Radio in Bono East Region, Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go and Telesol 4G. Just a touch. In this edition, family members of persons who died in ghastly Kintampo accident trooped to Jema South District Hospital in Kintampo as authorities embark on exercise to identify bodies. Will take you live to the hospital. Meanwhile, transport operators proffer solutions to the incessant road crashes.
That we will enforce 2 drivers on board for buses that will be traveling far.
Has it come up in any meeting you've attended?
Yes, please.
Also, Ghana Health Service holds emergency meeting with regional directors of health to review the country's response system to coronavirus as neighboring country Burkina Faso records 2 cases. We'll bring you details of that meeting as some schools step up public education on the virus.
Coronavirus,
Environmental Service Providers Association and CONIWAS raised red flags about looming sanitation threat following the non-payment of landfill operators in the country.
We urgently call on government to, as a matter of urgency, pay all outstanding debts owed the landfill operators to ensure the efficient operation of these facilities.
We have details from an ongoing environmental dialogue in sports.
Will assess the impact of the deadly coronavirus on football as matches in Europe are set to be played behind closed doors.
Also in this bulletin, homegoing will tell you why world-acclaimed Afro-pop star Riala moved back to her home village, Funsi.
I promise and I pray that God, if you ever make me a superstar, I promise I'll also give back to whoever I can give back to. And my mother has always been telling me that when God bless you, you get this, you go here, blah, blah, blah. Please don't forget home, come back home.
And later, what's in the name?
God bless you multiple times. Your name is Morty. And so everything everybody gets, you are going to get them in multiple numbers.
We hear from a 75-year-old avid listener of Joy FM who's been a fan since the inception of the Multimedia Group Limited. All that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa Apawu. In our very first story, an exercise to identify bodies of persons who died in ghastly Kintampo accident is currently underway at the Jema South District Hospital in Kintampo. About 30 people lost their lives in a fatal accident on the Kintampo-Tamale Highway in the Bono East region on Monday morning. Although the bodies were bent beyond recognition, family members are already at the hospital hoping to identify the remains of their relatives. The charred bodies, Joy News understands, includes a 12-year-old and a police officer. We'll head to the Bono East region now and speak to Adum FM correspondent Rafia Kenten, who is currently at the Jema Staff Hospital. So, Rafi, how will you describe the atmosphere at the hospital as we speak?
So solemn. You see people grouping in trace force, and it is all about the accident yesterday. I'm here at the Kintampo South District Hospital, precisely the Jema Government Hospital, the mortuary. And people, relatives have come to try to see if they will be able to recognize their bodies. It has not been so easy. The policeman who was stationed at Suhun, the family said they are yet to actually be able to identify among the charred bodies over here. I have some of them who have also been able to identify the bodies, but they need to go through processes before they will release them to them. I have with me a gentleman. He would like to speak Twi, so maybe after that you may try to do the translation for it. In fact, so I had a joy news. And I know Joy from the Kase, and then we are and a policeman or Baha. Modern some body no. It is a sign I'm penny for a catcher. The penny for catcher and say. wakɔyɛ aban mu nipa no yɛn to yɛ bo ase na ɔmo ne yi commander ne ba deɛ wɔm biara no ɔmo bɛka kyerɛ na ɔmo ntumi mfa bɔde ne mma yɛ saa wɔyɛ aban nipa no gye sɛ ɔmo kɔ ho yi process amfa. Okay, so yɛne mpanyinfoɔ no nyɛ ntena ase. Okay, bɔde ne na yɛ ba bɛhwɛ kɛkɛ. Yɛne mpanyinfoɔ no yɛnyɛ ntena ase nka asɛm biara. So ɔno ɔyɛ police no ɔyɛ ɔden meba Mr. Father Neme. Oh, okay. Mr. Father Neme. So this doesn't matter of me. One of the disease, the particular the policeman is a relative, at least a stepfather or a stepson to the disease, and he said they have been able to identify the body, but they need to trash out one or two issues with the police administration since he is a police personnel. So that is what they are waiting for. But they needed to be at the mall to actually have a feel of how the whole thing is going on here. I have a woman. She's a surviving victim, a pregnant woman, of course. So she was at the Kintampo Municipal Hospital. This morning she has been discharged. She also complains that she had a 12 or 14-year-old boy and girl who is among the child bodies. They are here at the mortuary to try to identify the body. Mama, number 2 hospital, and you, or what is saying? I'm a buyer, Obana Chebi, or what film? Almost the same.
Almost all was here to do some what and didn't know why they didn't.
Now, what we should for Yabaha? Okay, so they are still going through the identification, and this gentleman happens to be a relative to the woman, and I want to also talk to him. But now, him from Mufia Mobedu.
But so it's just a kind. Yet the accident, you know. And the Miniano Yereno on the phone year walk out into dinner afraid the Ecosini. And it's you 2 animal, I am ra. To the 2 and rather 2 o'clock hospital. You be him, none who ye. So it's a cat quadano, and you be him so animal. And they are police station. Echo report. There's an accident, you know. No, Nebano, no, the only were film, the number. Mortuary.
Okay. So quickly, as I speak to you, you've been able to identify the body right now. The woman says yes, you could see the clothes that or the guy was wearing it exactly so they've identified the body.
Okay, but let me quickly find out from you about the hospital authorities. What have they been telling you? I'm sure you've been finding out from them. What steps they are taking? What have they said?
Come again.
I'm asking about the hospital authorities and your interactions with them. What have they been telling you?
Yes, what they are saying is that they will be considering mass burial, looking at the intensity of the whole thing. But remember, it is the same mock that last year's one when it occurred, they brought the bodies, and after the burial, they are complaining that they, even as the hospital administrators, didn't hear anything of the mass burial. They only all of a sudden, it became a political issue. Authorities just came in, they picked the bodies, buried them. So down, they were even quarried from their superiors.
Okay. Well, that's Adom FM correspondent Riafe Akenten reporting from the Jema District Hospital in the Bono East region, where an exercise to identify bodies of persons who died in that ghastly Kintampo accident is currently underway. Well, transport consultant Cecil Gabra is blaming excess fuel in one of the vehicles for the fire that burned victims beyond recognition.
Carry 1 gallon of fuel to travel with. It's against the regulations. You must not do it. And that is why when you go to certain fuel stations like the airport Shell and you are holding a gallon, they'll tell you, no, we are not going to give you fuel. So that was a violation. You must not carry fuel anywhere. Right? Even if there's any emergency, you need to find a solution to it. Okay? I mean, you look at the taxi drivers, they have 1 gallon, and so on. Right? But naturally, you cannot hold fuel because anything could happen. Yeah. Especially if it's gasoline. I mean, the petrol that we all know. In case of any smell and there's any open fire, boom. So this is what also happened, and that is why everybody was benched to ashes.
That's the transport consultant Cecil Gabra. Meanwhile, my colleague Kojo Yankson has been speaking to the station master of the transport yard where the U-turn bus worked. He revealed the driver had overworked before that fateful trip.
Okay. It's my driver. The way I taught him, in fact, and the way we also work with each other, we don't have any problem with any. He don't have any problem with anybody in the whole station.
So he's a very good driver.
Master, I'm telling you the truth in the name of God.
Okay, now one of the passengers says that he was falling asleep.
I can't say that because what I'm saying that I can't say that one. I'm not inside the car, but I know his character.
So what will he normally do if he's driving and he's feeling sleepy? From what you know about his character, what does he do?
He will park and sleep.
Is that what he normally does?
Yes.
So at this accident happened at dawn. You are saying that he had already traveled once, brought some passengers, traveled again, and this was his third trip?
What I'm saying now, the way I'm respecting him, the way that I know that, the way he do his work, it's not the driver that will go today. You see, sometimes somebody will leave Boku today. When he reach Kumasi today, tomorrow, she will load tomorrow again. Tomorrow next is there. He is the one photographer that we are talking about him. To his university. When he load here and go, she will make almost 3 days or 4 days before coming back here.
I see. So
that is why I'm saying that I'm respecting him.
Okay, so you were saying that you wrote down the names of the passengers. So do you have the names of the passengers who were in this car?
Yes, I have the lady who's coming from the Savon Gari.
That's the station master of the transport yard where the U-turn bus work, interacting with my colleague Kojo Yankson. Well, the conversation about dualizing highways and getting two drivers for long journeys is the proposal currently on the table. My colleague Roland Walker visited the Tamale station here in Accra to gauge the opinions of drivers and passengers alike on this.
So let's assume if I give this bus two drivers to take it from Accra to, let's say, Boko, there is a possibility that one of them will say, okay, I'll drive in, then you drive out. Meanwhile, that is not the intent. The intent is to let one drive halfway, then the other continue. But these drivers have their own, in quotes, spiritual issues and other stuff.
But those are just human elements, etc. How do we make sure we streamline some of these things so that this become some policy issues that could run through across all the transport operators, all the relevant stations across the country?
I think going forward, GPRTU at the moment is looking at that part, that we will enforce two drivers on board for buses that will be traveling far. That is what we are looking at it. Unfortunately,
has it come up in any meeting you've attended?
Yes, please.
Akwesiesi sana te se enradie yi se na ahomache de no esi wo kentampo kwan no so no eya mote sana ede na ba modwem ase moye driver for porters ne mate for ne sa anyama no
me ade ba kwan ya na me hu no se ensem ba bi se na se ye ka bibi efa nkwanhia no ho ana se ne ema esia me hu no se enya ade e ko ba bia ye drivers ne de ye ka ya sema ye be ka bie ne wa ase e ko ba bia ba senka mutie de ye nso ye ka no so a na aban no e boa ye ne a efin se nka enema betimi atotoye efise se uhwe bibi ti se drivers a yisu buses na dodo na hono ma yentu omuka wo so hu entu omuka enam se driver fo ni kama fo ni no obia ni hono ma oboa drivers de bia asem no ba ya na mo yi good driver fo so hwe from Accra to Boko na driver ni ba akopɛ o sistia nanim na okɔ Boko
nanka opesanka yeah and he is saying that when the incident happened, it looks like those who are heads of authority, and I'm sure if in the media is also included because it's a broader conversation when some of these accidents do happen, don't seem to talk for the drivers. Then he zoomed in or transitioned into a discussion about how drivers sometimes are not well paid, and he gave an example of how a driver alone would have to sit in a big bus and drive all the way to Boko.
You had my colleague Roland Walker interacting with drivers and passengers at the Tamale station here in Accra. In a separate development, former President Jerry John Rawlings has called for tough action against operations of commercial motorbike riders or Okada riders, saying the illegal activities causing needless deaths. He's also unhappy about what he described as unregulated construction of speed ramps on major highways. The former president was speaking to residents of Sugakope.
The drinking and riding those services. Please, if you're an Okada rider or driver and you want to die, go and die. But don't take along people on your back or in your vehicle and drive irresponsibly or drunk or tired and kill people. We're doing something very illegal in trying to slow down vehicles on the roads around where we live. We are building illegal, illegitimate, and inappropriate speed ramps. These are not speed ramps. Those are obstacles. Tomorrow, if it's your mother, your father, or your child driving in a car that drives over some of these obstacles and is involved in an accident and dies, you won't see the connection. We're not being imaginative enough.
That's former President Jerry John Rawlings, and our Arrival Life campaign is still on. A few tips for long-distance travels. Plan ahead. Sleep the night before you leave. Fatigue on the open road is dangerous, so take a break in between. Stop to fill up, use the bathroom, or simply to stretch your legs and share the drive. You'll be less likely to get tired behind the wheel this way. Hashtag Arrive Alive. Now, the Ghana Health Service is holding an emergency meeting here in Accra to review the country's preparedness and response system to stem down the threats of the deadly COVID-19. The meeting with the regional directors of health is expected to touch on the country's border preparedness following confirmed cases in neighboring countries like Togo and Burkina Faso, the latest to have confirmed 2 cases. We'll get an update from the meeting when Director General Dr. Patrick Abuaje thankfully joins us. But the head of Joy News Health Desk, Fred Smith, joins me in studio with details of happenings around the globe as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Fred, what is the latest with the cases in Burkina Faso first?
Well, Emefa, a third person is said to be under observation in Burkina Faso as we speak. This person is said to have been in close contact with the 2 patients who have already tested positive. Now, the 2 patients are a couple, the wife having recently returned from France, according to the Burkinabe Health Minister, Claudine Lugu. And the patients have been quarantined in Burkina Faso, as we've heard, in a local hospital there.
So how many African countries have recorded this?
Well, Burkina Faso is now the 6th African country to be affected by the fast-spreading virus. Algeria, Egypt, Nigeria, Senegal, Tunisia, South Africa, and Cameroon have all recorded infections.
Now, Ghana's former Deputy Health Minister, Dr. Victor Bampo, has also been writing on the COVID-19. What exactly is he saying?
Well, he makes an interesting analysis of what's going on and why Africa is slow in recording cases. And he says that the virus is simply following economic routes. So it means that all of these countries that have recorded huge number of infections, it is because they deal a lot more with China, and that's how come we're having this. He says when there's cold weather as well, people huddle together more and they stay indoors more and give the virus the opportunity to spread. Now in Ghana, we also do a lot of mass population activities such as marketplaces, the church, and so on and so forth. So it can potentially still spread in Ghana. He's asking for us all to prepare.
Okay, but you are the head of our health desk. There's something going around about taking your phone to the toilet and how it spreads coronavirus. Well, interesting thought there. But have you been able to gather anything from the meeting that is currently ongoing?
Well, it's simply a review meeting to improve on the systems you already have in place. And I'm sure after this meeting, we'll be told exactly what new steps they've taken to tighten the borders. Recall that Togo has already recorded a case. Burkina Faso is also having a case, and so you need to be tight on the land borders as well to prevent an influx into them.
Well, definitely we'll get you more from that subsequently once that meeting is over. But travels are restricted across Italy and public gatherings have also been suspended until further notice. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte ordered people to stay home.
All of Italy is now going to be under the same condition. All of Italy now, in effect, quarantined. Prime Minister Conte saying people should not move other than for work and emergencies. That means that the whole country is affected in lockdown. He says all public gatherings, if they stayed in Italy, they're not out of them now. The whole of the country declared a...
That's the Prime Minister of Italy, Giuseppe Conte, back here in Ghana. Some pupils are also being taken through lessons on coronavirus. Here's a viral song of teacher and her pupils.
Coronavirus,
And that's the viral song on coronavirus. And a top story in this edition, family members of persons who died in ghastly Kintampo accident trooped to Jema Staff District Hospital in Kintampo as authorities embark on exercise to identify bodies. When we return, Environmental Service Providers Association and CONI was raised red flags about looming sanitation threat following the non-payment of landfill operators in the country.
We urgently call on government to, as a matter of urgency, pay all outstanding debts owed the landfill operators to ensure the efficient operation of these facilities.
And later, what's in a name?
God bless you multiple times. Your name is Morty. And so everything everybody gets, you are going to get them in multiple numbers.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we are poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Good things come in two, Sampa. You know your chamber quarter. And Nunti, from the second month of the year, for 2 months, DSTV is giving you 2 months DSTV access subscription instead of one when you buy a DSTV Zapper. Nothing so. Yes, step you up more than last month. Just pay for a higher package and DSTV will step you up to the one above that from 40 Ghana cedis all month long. SMS DSTV to 1731 and we will call you back or call 0302 740 540. DSTV, feel every moment.
This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM Sports Now, and Hans Mensando has the latest.
Hi, Emefa.
Hi, Hans.
Let me do a quick check of the temperature.
No, I have no coronavirus. Right, in Jesus' name.
And, it's having a massive impact on sport, globally. Now, La Liga have confirmed all matches in Spain's top flight will be played behind closed doors for the next 2 weeks. It also applies to the second tier of Spanish football. In Italy, all sport has been suspended until at least the 3rd of April because of coronavirus. It includes Serie A, but not Italian clubs or national teams participating in international competition. Serie A, which is Italy's top flight, had already said all games will be played behind closed doors until the 3rd of April. When you go to Austria, Health Minister Rudolf Anschober at a press conference this morning said that the country has decided to cancel all outdoor events with over 500 participants and all indoor events with over 100 participants by the beginning of April. Now, Manchester United are supposed to be in a game this Thursday against Lask Linz, and the Austrian club are expecting to be told that the game would be played behind closed doors. It's not just football that is affected. Tennis is also affected. The Indian Wells tournament has been cancelled because of the concerns about the spread of coronavirus. The tournament, which is one of the biggest and most prestigious outside of the Grand Slams, was due to start this week, with health officials in California saying there was too much of a risk to hold a large gathering of the size. Now, guess what? It's not just the events, the matches. Ticket sales for Northern Ireland's Euro 2020 playoff away to Bosnia and Herzegovina has also been postponed to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. So across Europe, a number of games are going to be played behind closed doors, and some have been cancelled altogether. That's your sport.
Thank you very much, Hans. And in that COVID virus or COVID-19 note, we'll talk about sanitation, because Environmental Service Providers Association and Coalition of NGOs in Water and Sanitation, CONIWAS, are raising the red flags about looming sanitation threat following the non-payment of landfill operators in the country. In a joint statement read by Vice Chairman of CONIWAS, Atahin, says government owes landfill operators 42 million Ghana cedis in unpaid cash. Listen to him speak at the first monthly environmental dialogue series in Accra today.
The inability of government to pay may force these operators to withdraw their services due to the inability to service equipment required for managing the landfill and to pay workers. We urgently call on government to, as a matter of urgency, pay all outstanding debts owed the landfill operators to ensure the efficient operation of these facilities. 2. Attention needs to be paid to the expansion of infrastructure. The current infrastructure capacity is fast being exhausted, if not already exhausted. Our visit to the Pond landfill yesterday, 9th March 2020, shows a facility that is being used beyond its installed capacity.
Now let's stay on sanitation, because the KMA Love and Insurance from Sanitation Enforcement Team has arrested 2 shop owners who failed to appear before court for sanitation offences. The Assam District Court issued a bench warrant for the arrest of Osei Sapong and Kwekujia after they failed to appear for charges of dumping refuse in public drain at Dr. Mensa, where they trade. Now, patrons of Joy FM's Easter Soup Kitchen are in for a treat this year as the station joins forces with its sister stations Adum and Asempa FM to fit and provide critical medical care to thousands of our less privileged brothers and sisters across the city of Accra. And here to tell us more is the man leading it all, Mr. Samiri, and she was the head of sports and programs director for Asempa FM. So we are really, it's going to be big this year, isn't it? Tell me a bit more about it.
Absolutely. We want to give back to community as key strategy or action of our 25th anniversary. You know, as our key value as multimedia is community, and we want to ensure that we give to the less privileged. This is something we've been doing for the past 25 years, and it's been awesome, and ensuring that our friends who are unable, and if you know the whole thing about Easter, Christ coming to die to save us and all, we want to allow our friends and key stakeholders in the country to join us to donate willfully and bountifully to ensure that we feed about 5,000 and even more.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Mr. Yoenchi, we'll get to talk more about this, and I'm sure we are looking forward to that. Easter Soup Kitchen will be bigger and better this year. Now, she calls herself the Lioness of Africa and has toured the world performing of some prize stages in Europe. The Upper West regional born African pop singer Wiala has now braved the odds, relocating from Accra, the national capital, to live in the village where she grew up, Funsi, in the Wa West district. The 34-year-old already has a street named after her there and is building a cultural theatre there and training the village's next generation to sing and dance. Joining us is Justice Bedo, who traveled 850 kilometers to Funsi to meet her.
A rendition of her 2014 classic Tinambayi. This is Wiala, born as Nuela Wiala. Her name is a Sisala word that translates to the doer. After traveling the world, sharing stages with Grammy Award winners, she's back to her native Funsi.
I promise and I pray that God, if you ever make me a superstar, I promise I'll also give back to whoever I can give back to. And my mother has always been telling me that when God bless you, you get this, you go here, blah, blah, blah. Please don't forget home, come back home. So I'm back home to share my talent, share the gift God has given me. I believe my talent is a gift, and if I don't share it in a positive way, I think God will take it from me.
Heaven knows that we are good.
Impacts in society, of course, and is often asked what's in a name. There are many theories about whether or not the choice of a name has any significance. But for 75-year-old Charlotte Arabasam, an avid listener of Joy FM, the name of the station's mother organization, Multimedia Group Limited, holds great meaning. Listen to her theory as she shares her joy story.
Oh, when Pastor Usu Ansa used to sing early in the morning, that woke my spirit up, and I've never stopped. And then Uncle Bo White, we make sure we listen to him on the radio when we are on the road. God bless you multiple times. Your name is Morty. And so everything everybody gets, you are going to get them in multiple numbers. That is what God does. When you have fed people for good, goodness will never elude your family. God bless you, Multimedia.
Indeed, multiple blessings for Multimedia Group, as you heard there from 75-year-old Charlotte Arabasam, an avid listener of Joy. And of course, Nanama is still trending on social media. Need I say more? And that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Thanks for your company.